Sasquatch. To most, the Sasquatch can easily be described as a giant but agile, hair-covered, undiscovered being of some sort, known to roam the wilderness and reside in the deepest depths of the forest. But for some, Sasquatch is a being of otherworldly powers, a mystical, spiritual being. Just ask anyone from any of the indigenous communities of the Pacific Northwest or anywhere else that the Sasquatch has been known to roam and has been encountered. Most reports and stories from this day and age describe a physical flesh and blood creature. This doesn't discount the fact that Sasquatch is still highly unusual and bizarre in itself as a physical being. But when I tell you that there is a chance that this creature or being is capable of things that would appear to be supernatural or paranormal or mystical, you could say, keep an open mind. Sometimes fact is indeed stranger than fiction, and with Sasquatch, I suspect that anything is possible. Welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. Hey everyone, welcome to Mountain Beast Mysteries. In today's video, we're going to talk about some weird stuff. As you could see probably in the thumbnail, I have a little baggie here with some interesting things in it. Two things, two individual strands of hair that were actually sent in months ago. Like I've had this actually for a while and I've been sitting on it. And I unfortunately only have two strands. Like, I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but it's probably out of focus, of hair. And what I wanted to talk about is, the supernatural element to Sasquatch and how if Sasquatch could be that, like a supernatural being, then how the heck would it leave behind something like this? Like, these are physical hairs. If these are in fact Sasquatch hairs. See, I don't know what to do with this. And I've just been kind of sitting on it. And, I want to do something with it. I might save it for when me and Doug Hijack film Legend Meets Science 2, Sasquatch Legend Meets Science 2. We could probably analyze it with some really decent microscopes and maybe do a DNA test on it. But that's the thing, like, I don't want to send this off in the mail and have it disappear somewhere in the world, because you hear all those stories. Like, it happened to my friend Ken Walker. He had a bag full of hair and he sent it off to whoever. I think he sent some to John Bindernagel, and it just disappeared, never to be seen from again. So I have two strands. We've been trying to get more from the guy who recovered it. It actually, believe it or not, came from the Nordic area, and it's like it looks weird. Like it's long. It is brown, like reddish brown, and very thin. Like, it almost looks like human hair. But apparently, where it was recovered, there was a bunch of it, and the guy has more. I don't know what the deal is with that. Keenan was trying to get a hold of more of that. And I hope, sometime soon he can do that. So, this is like the holy grail. Like, it's weird being in your apartment or your home or whatever, and knowing that, like, you might have a piece of Sasquatch in your apartment. It might be real. And I am almost certain this has been, like, contaminated with human DNA, probably. So who knows what a DNA test would turn up. Might come back human. But you could look at the actual physical structure of the hair and compare it to other samples that have been collected that people think are actually Sasquatch. So anyways, Sasquatch, physical or supernatural, again, something I like to talk about quite often, actually. How could a supernatural being leave behind physical evidence? What ability would the Sasquatch have to be able to appear, disappear? I guess where my thinking takes me is a creature like the Sasquatch would have to have some sort of ability to change his frequency or its frequency or whatever, you know? Like, you hear about like really spiritual people talking all the time about raising their vibrations and shit like that. I don't know the truth or science to that, you know? But if a creature on this planet, Sasquatch specifically, had the ability to change its vibration, higher vibration, maybe it can change it to the point where it, you know, can disappear, can change its frequency. Apparently everything exists at a certain frequency. We can hear certain frequencies, certain sounds, we can, you know, feel different vibrations, and we can see certain like spectrums of light. If a creature could shift its own frequency to, you know, not, I guess, jive with everything else around it, maybe it would disappear. What about physical remnants like this, though? You know, this is still here. If this is Sasquatch hair, like I said, this is still here. I don't know how that would work. This was, I guess, manifested and created into this physical world, you know, and then the Sasquatch disappeared again, and this was left behind. I guess it's, you know, the same with, like, I don't know, maybe scat samples and stuff like that that are recovered. It's easier to imagine something leaving footprints behind, you know? The footprint isn't the actual creature itself, it's trace evidence. So I'm honestly, I'm really trying to put this puzzle together in my head. I'm trying to like figure out, because part of me is like, yeah, like when I read a lot of these Sasquatch reports, man, some of them have like a mystical feel to them, like a mystical, supernatural feel. And I really felt that, like, when I was filming Supernatural Sasquatch, that documentary. Like, it felt like we were dealing with something that wasn't just a creature, like an animal, right? It felt like this thing was so much more, like, advanced. But maybe there is a creature that evolved somehow. A physical creature that is real, that has an ability, like a defense mechanism or something. In the same way, maybe like a chameleon can change its color, or an octopus can, you know, hide in the same sense. It can like change its color, and some of those creatures in the sea, they can change the actual texture of their skin. So it's like maybe there's a land creature, a mammal such as Sasquatch, that can, you know, do that. Like it can actually change its vibration, its frequency, and disappear, and that is its defense mechanism. It's not a supernatural thing, I guess. It's maybe a natural evolutionary trait that it developed. This physical, you know, earth creature. And maybe it's because it's in the forest, like just being out in nature its whole life, and generations of Sasquatch that had been born are so in tune with nature that they have this ability to maybe like shift their frequency. Or maybe they have the help of, you know, psychedelic mushrooms or something like that out in the forest. You know, they would be a creature that would be foraging and looking for food, and they would, for sure, if Sasquatch lived in the forests of, you know, the Pacific Northwest or British Columbia for thousands of years, they would know all sorts of different like plants and mushrooms and things like that. They probably just wouldn't eat meat, but they would have a comprehensive knowledge of pretty much every living thing out in the wilderness. So is that what's going on? I have no idea. So yeah, it's very mysterious. I wanted to share this with you guys and show you that I do have a couple hairs here that may or may not be from Sasquatch, and I'm sitting on them till I decide what to do with them. But that question popped into my mind. I'm like, wait a minute, I've had these hairs in my apartment that are physical hairs, and I'm looking at them, and it's like, okay, well, if they are Sasquatch hairs, then how is it even possible that it's a supernatural creature? I don't know, I want to know what you guys think. Is that a crazy theory? A physical creature out in nature is so in tune with the environment and everything, and throughout thousands of years of evolving, it has the ability to shift its frequency somehow. It's all quantum science, biology stuff. I have no idea. I'm not a scientist, but maybe that's how it sneaks around, and maybe that is a trait that it developed over time to, you know, hide from creatures, hide from other animals. It's a defense mechanism of sorts. I don't know. Does it sound crazy? I think it's probably the most realistic explanation for like the supernatural side of Bigfoot, maybe. You know? Anyways, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We'll see you next time on Mountain Beast Mysteries.